Joshua Hummel, and this is my dad, Kirk Hummel, and we're here to talk about time and what time is, our opinions on time, what we think about time, physical time in itself, and kind of the mental time being what you'll talk about. And I guess I'll let you go first.
Oh, I get to go first this time. I think you should go first.
Alright,
All
well,
right.
do you want to go first?
All right, I'll go first. So we're going to argue about it.
Yes.
We're wasting time arguing about it.
Yes.
So I think Josh and I are coming from somewhat different places. I've been thinking about time and its relationship to God, relationship to our overall existence, the existence of the universe. So, I mean, we know about the three dimensions that we live in. We see it all around us here. You know, we have depth, height, width. We exist in the space. We can move from one point to another within this space. We don't think about that because we're in it. Time is the same thing. We know, physicists tell us that's a fourth dimension. And we move from a point in the past to a point in the future. And again, so when you look at those four dimensions, we're moving not only around our physical world, but we're also moving forward in time. So, but that movement forward in time only really appears to exist because we have a conscious awareness to be aware of the past moments in time as well. In other words, we remember those past moments. We remember a different configuration of these three dimensions. And because we have a conscious awareness to place that past moment in time, we can see a progression from point to point to point. So, you talk to different quantum mechanic physicists and, a lot of different philosophers and all that. They have a lot of different ideas, but one of them is that all those past moments in time actually exist concurrently. In other words, like we right now are in this one point sitting on this bench in the world. But because we're in this one point in the three dimensions doesn't mean that the points on the other side of the planet don't exist, just because our awareness isn't there right now. Time, is probably a lot like that. We are in this current point in time, but that doesn't mean that all those other points in time in the dimension of time don't also exist right now, and all the future points don't exist. And I mean, we can get into a lot of discussions about quantum mechanics. There's this idea of Schrodinger's cat, which is a thought experiment. If you have a cat in a box, the cat could be both alive and dead. There's no way to know until you look. So as long as you don't look, the cat is both alive and dead. But once you do take a look, then you find out it's either alive or it's dead. At the subatomic level, it has to do with the positive and negative charges. But the point is even since we know that in that box before we open it up, the cat is both alive and dead. Just because this time we open the box and we see it being alive, doesn't mean that previous state of it also being dead doesn't also exist at the same time somewhere. Whether it's in an alternate branch of the universe or whether it's just that all things that could possibly be do actually exist simultaneously. It's just our conscious awareness is focused on this one little segment of it. So, for me, while time is a dimension that exists, it does not exist separately from consciousness. Our awareness of our own existence places us at one particular moment in the three-dimensional universe, but also in the where we're at in time. And I don't think you can have time without that conscious awareness. So, for me, consciousness itself, I think, is a dimension. It's inextricably linked to everything else. Unless we are aware of this point in time, for us at least, it doesn't exist. So I guess what I'm saying is that I think that the same way this bench exists, while at the same time a rock on the other side of the world exists simultaneously, even though we can't see it. The same is true for time. This moment in time exists, but so do all those previous moments. but also our consciousness exists now, but it also exists in all those previous moments that it existed, and in the future. And that gets into a whole other discussion, but for me at least, time doesn't exist by itself. Time and our conscious awareness of our existence are linked and intertwined together, and we can't have one without the other. Both extend eternally into the past, eternally into the future, and what the world around us actually is and what our human consciousness actually is, we don't know, because for right now, for whatever reason, we're just at this moment in time, if that makes any sense. So I'll turn it over to you, Josh.
Alright, so you've given the stage over to me. My meaning of time isn't so, I guess, as broad as yours. Mine's more of the time now, as I'm living it. I'm only 19 years old so far, so my time has been pretty, not that substantial. But I guess I'll talk about what the time I've been through, kind of how it's gone so far, kind of the rhythm of what time to me is. So, well, time, when I was younger, time would be pretty slow, I guess, because that's my younger ages, kind of enjoying life, not having a care in the world, just kind of being in the moment. And then as I progressed, time will slowly but surely fasten or accelerate per se, and then just kind of keep going at a higher level pace, through middle school, high school, and now that I'm at now, time just keeps rolling on by, and it's I question it, like, how do I slow this down? How do I enjoy it while I can? How do I live in the moment? And that's what I'm trying to do so far, trying to enjoy it as I can, live out my youth. But time will forever keep going on, and I will.
It will, but are you saying then that it's your perception of time, that you perceive it as slower, you perceive it as faster, you perceive it as changing at different rates?
Yes.
No, see, that's what I was getting after with what I was talking about, how time and consciousness
Yes.
are intertwined.
Well,
So,
definitely, I guess, when you don't have a care in the world when you're young, time definitely, it's kind of yours for the keeping. You get to enjoy that time, and then once you do have a grasp on the world, everything around you, like you were saying, kind of slips by. And yeah, but I don't know, that's what my thinking of time is, not as sophisticated as his.
well, I'm 55
yes,
and you're
he's
19,
55.
so, but I think it sounds like one thing we're both in agreement on is that right now what we have is this moment in
Yes,
time, and
yes.
we need to make as much from this moment, this present moment, as we can.
Yes. And we gotta
So
live.
does that mean you're never going to get a job?
No, I'll get a job.
Okay,
But,
all right. Well, there'll be time for that later.
yes, but right now, enjoy it while it lasts. Live it out. So,
Well, that's all we can do. So,
but I guess to say your time in right now, is it slower, faster?
my time lately has been going very, very slowly. So the last 5 weeks for me have been an entire lifetime. So that happens when you're suffering a loss like we have. For you, it's probably been a whirlwind now, back and forth, going faster. So I see we have a family approaching our video spot, so our time here is growing short to be able to talk before the sound of small children comes into our space.
So I guess that's all the time we have, folks.
All right, enjoy it.
Yes.